What's up guys, welcome back. For today's video we are doing another DIY lantern. So today we are doing the character Slink from Toy Story. I am currently editing this video right now. My original intro that I had for this didn't explain what I need to explain to you now. After completely finishing the lantern, there are a few things you should know. This lantern took a lot longer to do than all of the other lanterns did. I think it took me at least 4 days to do because of all the attachments and paint drying and glue drying, and it took a lot of time. So there is a lot of footage for this video, and because there's so much footage, there are some parts that I will be skipping. I'll be popping in throughout the video to tell you what I did in the part that I skipped so you know what happened. Yeah. So the first part that I'm skipping is actually the part where I show you all of the materials and stuff. You do need 2 lanterns for this video and a slinky. Make sure you have those. The paints I had were like different shades of brown. I think one of them was chestnut brown, one of them was like a caramel brown, and then another one I had, I think it was called like toasted marshmallow or something. And then I also had silver paint, but that's all the paint you need. Those are all the materials I showed you. I also use foam in this video, so I got a bunch of little foam circles, and then I got one bigger foam circle. I don't remember the measurements of that circle. If I knew them, I would tell you. I also got like a little rectangle of foam. Those are the materials you will need. I think that's all. So yeah, onto the video. Let's get started. I have gotten my water, and now I have to lit my lantern. This is the first lantern that I have made that actually requires 2 lanterns to be made. So now I have 2 lanterns. We're gonna do this lighter color now. So for this next part, I just took both of the lanterns and painted them completely with that light caramel color. I did take out the entire clip where I was painting them, even though I did not include the painting of both of the lanterns, and I only included part of painting one lantern. It did still go on for a while, so I just took that whole part out. So for this next step, you're just gonna paint both of the lanterns with that caramel color. So I finished painting both lanterns completely. While I wait for them to dry, I am going to start carving these foam pieces, and I'm going to use scissors to do that. Please be very, very careful as you do this. If you are a young child, please have adult supervision. I want all of you to be safe, so. For this part, when you are shaping the foam, if you have a better way to do it, meaning you have like a saw or something you can use to shape the foam, use that instead of using the scissors. Now that I have it cut kind of in half, I'm just gonna try to smooth this out as much as possible off camera. So I just finished watching the next step of what you're supposed to do, and it was really, really long. It was 17 minutes long. So what you're going to do next is you're going to take the bigger half of the sphere that you just cut, and you are going to start shaving it to look like a muzzle. This is what it should look like. I'm going to finish up with this by painting it. I'm not exactly sure how well this will go. I am definitely going to need to put several layers onto this piece of foam. So in this clip, I know you can't see it because I'm terrible at keeping the foam in the frame, but in this clip I am painting the foam muzzle that toasted marshmallow color. I'm gonna set this up and let that dry. So what I did next was I let everything dry, and I came back the next day and I added a second layer of paint to the muzzle, and I got my dad to help me attach the slinky to the 2 lanterns. The way I did that was we got some string, and then we put the string through the lantern tied it to the slinky. So what I want to do next is make his legs out of, yes, more foam. We are going to cut it in half this way. I now have 2 pieces of foam, and we are now ready to make Slinky's legs. So after I got the foam brick cut in half, I then came back and used a string to cut off about 1/3 of each piece of foam. Make sure you save these because you will use them later. I'm gonna draw. Drawing on foam is not easy. So after drawing the outlines of his front legs on one of the bigger pieces of foam, I took the foam and then cut out the front legs of Slink and then painted them the chestnut brown color. While that's drying, we're gonna do his hind legs. So his hind legs are like this. So after I drew the outline of his hind legs, I then cut them out and painted all except for about the bottom 1/2 inch of the foam, the caramel brown color. Alright, I have finished painting the light brown part of his hind legs. I'm now going to let those dry, and then once they are done drying, I will add the darker like chestnut brown to them. While they dry, we're going to carve Slink's tail out of one of your extra pieces of foam. Yeah, that's pretty close. So after I drew the outline of his tail, I then cut it out and smoothed out the edges of it with the scissors, and then I kind of rounded it out with the scissors as well. After I did that, I painted the circular end of his tail with the caramel brown color, and then the rest of his tail I painted silver. His muzzle has been dry for hours, so now I'm going to paint his nose onto it. So after I painted his nose onto his muzzle, I took my green paint and painted a green circle around one end of the slinky on the lantern. So whichever end you paint the green circle onto, that will be his head, because that green circle is actually Slink's collar. I forgot to mention, I also painted that chestnut brown color onto the bottom 1/2 inch of his hind legs as well. I forgot to turn on the camera, and I made one of the paws, so here's the first one. Now to make the second paw. So after I finished shaping the second paw, I painted it, and then I did the other 2 paws and painted those as well. So this next step, I'm going to be making the ears out of some brown felt, and then I will be painting the whites of his eyes onto one of the lanterns. I will also be drawing the outline of one of the eyebrows on the lantern as well with a Sharpie. I'm just gonna draw 2 ears and then cut them out. And then I'll do his eyes right here. So I'm going to finish doing his eyes off camera. So after I finished painting the eyes onto the lantern, I drew outlines of his eyebrows and then filled those in with black paint. After I did that, I waited for the white paint to dry and then painted black circles into the white paint, and those were his pupils. I then glued all of the foam pieces together, and because the hot glue wasn't strong enough, I had to use something stronger to glue the foam pieces onto the lantern. I glued all of the pieces onto the lantern and finished making Slink, so here's the final product. I would like to thank my dad for helping me to not only attach the foam to the lanterns, but also helping me figure out how I could attach the Slinky to the lanterns. So, thank you, Dad. Without you, I couldn't have finished this. So, yeah, here is the final product. Here's our Slink lantern. pause. This was definitely the hardest one I have done, but I really enjoyed doing it, so yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next week.